Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. In this episode, covering the ongoing civil war taking place inside of the former state of Ethiopia. Obviously, the fighting continues, and the focus of this video is going to be more on the Abiy loyalist drone capability, also known as the Ethiopian National Defense Forces, Air Force, and intelligence agency. So the question is right now is just how many drones is the Abiy loyalists, the ENDF, the intelligence services of Ethiopia, currently operating? Well, we believe, first off, the drones are being operated out of two locales. First, just southeast of Addis Ababa at the main Air Force Base. Obviously, there are drones being operated out of this locale, quite possibly in this hangar that I am currently circling as well. And we also believe that additional hangars have been built, manufactured, and deployed for the use of drones operating within the confines of the conflict. We also believe that there is a drone squadron also operating out of the Afar region as well. And we had seen evidence of that when we had seen pictures of this Mera airport. So, what drones are currently being operated by the Abiy loyalists? So, we believe there are as many as 4 drones currently being operated by the ENDF. First off, it was the first drone that we had seen deployed was the Wing Loong II, or I'm sorry, Wing Loong I. That was the first drone, quite possibly deployed, actually, by the Ethiopian National Defense Forces, the Abiy loyalists. And we believe that at a certain point, roughly 6 were acquired, possibly more. Again, the Wing Loong 1 is more or less of a reconnaissance drone, and at the time that the Abiy loyalists started fielding the Wing Loong 1, it was used as just that, a reconnaissance drone. Now, it does have an update where it does have the ability to launch precision strike munitions. But really, in terms of the Chinese drone capability, we really saw that come to life in the Wing Loong II. So just as the United States has the Predator, which also has a strike capability, we saw an enhanced strike capability in terms of the amount of munitions these drones are able to carry really increase with the development and the deployment of the Reaper drone. So again, the Reaper is more of a strike drone, while the Predator can be used as a strike drone as well. The Reaper carries more munitions. So just like with the Chinese, the Wing Loong 1 was really a reconnaissance drone with an additional strike capability. The Wing Loong 2 was a true hunter-killer drone with significantly more payload capability. So we believe at this point, in fact, that up to 12 Wing Loong 2s have now been delivered to the Abiy loyalists, and that program was rushed, especially with the Tigrayan Defense Forces approaching Addis Ababa and threatening Debre Burhan. So again, we have seen this capability increase as the situation became more concerning on the ground for the Abiy loyalists, for the ENDF. The next drone that was also deployed, and we believe these drones are actually being operated by Turkish forces. Now, we're trying to obtain information if these are in fact leased drones with a contract obligation where Turkish contract pilots will operate the drone. That is a possibility. Again, up to 6 to 12 TB2s could be deployed in the area of operation. So again, the TB2 is a smaller, medium endurance drone. It has very, very good optics. Obviously, it has the ability to fire the MAML missile, and that is a proven system that was deployed during the Azeri-Armenian conflict. So again, a little bit different systems. The Chinese system, the Wing Loong II, establishes a satellite data link, which gives it well over 1,000-mile range. So the Wing Loong II has a higher payload capability, and it can fly farther than the TB2 drone. Now the issue is, in terms of the Wing Loong II, is a reliability in maintaining a stable data connection with the control center. So whereas we have seen the TB2 operating within 100 miles of the ground control station, normally it doesn't fly any further than that from its ground control station, as it could possibly lose data link, and it's really not designed to fly that far from its ground control station, whereas the Wing Loong II, in fact, is. But again, we have seen open source footage that would indicate that the Wing Loong II is a very, very capable system. We have seen optronic video of its forward-looking infrared, which looks very, very comparable to what is deployed by the Turkish drones themselves. But with that being said, there has been some reports of some instability in terms of the maintaining the data connections with these Wing Loong II drones. So it would just be like maybe you at home watching a Netflix movie or streaming a movie, and you have a poor bandwidth connection, and it starts to buffer, right? So that is some of the experiences that have been reported with the use of the Wing Loong II, Wing Loong I drone. Now, if it's able to maintain a good a connection with its if its command station, then obviously if the pilots are trained and you have good payload specialists that are able to observe targets, identify targets, and engage targets, that's a different story. But right now, the TB2 obviously has been deployed, tested, and has been proven a very good system. And part of that reason, obviously, is within the TB2 are Western systems. Again, you have Austrian engines, you have Canadian optronics. So again, you have this NATO technology that the Turks have been able to acquire because of their relationship. They are part of NATO, so that has helped them significantly. Whereas the Chinese, obviously, they do purchase equipment overseas, but they also produce their own equipment as well. And sometimes that has been proven faulty. So again, right now we're seeing, again, quite possibly 6 to 12 Wing Loong Is being deployed by the Abiy loyalist, another 12 Wing Loong IIs being deployed by the Abiy loyalist. So again, you're looking at a total of about anywhere from 15 to 24 drones that could be deployed at any one time of Chinese manufacture. Then you're looking at the TB2 drone, quite possibly an additional 6 to 12 of those in operation as well. So again, I have talked about the size of the geographic location that you're looking at. It's much larger than the overall size of the area in question in regards to the conflict that took place in Nagorno-Karabakh. So we can zoom over here and we can look kind of the general location of the conflict that took in Nagorno-Karabakh, and then obviously we'll back out where you can look at that. And remember as well, the Turks and the Azeris were deploying much more drones than what is currently being deployed in the former state of Ethiopia. Again, the Turks have the ability to deploy quite literally hundreds of these drones. They've manufactured well over 200 TB2 drones, and we've seen them deploy these drones on a massive scale in Syria, and then we were able to see them deploy over Armenia as well. And in some cases, we were seeing 30, 40 drones being deployed in the air at any one time. So again, that is a much smaller area and many, many more drones being utilized within the context of that conflict. So again, you have less drones and quite possibly less capable drones when you compare the TB2 with the Wing Loong. I mean, ideally, the Wing Loong, especially the 2, is a more capable drone. Obviously, it flies a much greater distance and can carry a much, much greater payload than the TB2 drone. But again, it's just a question of, does it have stable data links, and just does it work? I mean, obviously, it can look good on paper, but in the end, does it really work well? And that question has just not been answered yet. So we would assume at this point the TB2, even though it has much, much less range and much, much less payload capability, it just works better. So there's no other explanation than just that when you compare the two drones. Right now, the Western technology in the TB2 drone is more mature and has been around longer, and obviously it just works better at this point. Now, once the Chinese work out all the bugs from these drone systems, could it work as good or even better than the TB2 or Western, such as the Predator and Reaper? Yes, absolutely. And we've seen, at least again, open source intel on that would indicate that the capability is definitely there. And yeah, that's free to go on YouTube yourself, and you can see that information yourself and see the capability, especially when you compare gun camera footage, forward-looking infrared footage of the TB2 when compared to the Wing Loong II. But again, the powers of Turkey, the People's Republic of China, and to a lesser extent Iran, and the United Arab Emirates have deployed a significant amount of assets to support the Abiy loyalists in this ongoing conflict. Now, again, are we seeing the same sort of quantity over the battlefield that we observed in the Azeri-Armenian conflict that really was able to change that conflict? No, we're not. But again, we are seeing more and more of them being deployed, and quite honestly, right now, in terms of the Abiy loyalists, the Ethiopian National Defense Forces, they are probably deploying more drones because of this emergency use that they are receiving than quite possibly any other nation state in Africa, and that includes quite possibly Egypt as well, just in terms of the amount of drones that are being sent to the Abiy loyalist. But I just wanted to cover that real quick, talk about it. And again, obviously, you can go online. You can go and you can look up a lot of this information. Search Wing Loong II, search TB2 drone, and a lot of that information in terms of their capabilities is very much open source. But again, we just don't know if, in fact, the Wing Loong II works as well as it is said to work. We've heard reports that, in fact, in some cases, it does not. But again, we're going to continue to cover this story and continue to try to obtain intelligence on how these drones are doing within the course of the war that is taking place inside of the former state of Ethiopia. More to come. Have a good day, everyone.